Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about National Mental Health Survey, or what is known as NMHS. So we will discuss about the present context, and then we will discuss about how the Healthcare Act has been progressed in India over a period of time, and also we will discuss about an initiative which was started during the COVID-19 time. So let's start. So the government conducted the National Mental Health Survey of India through the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, or NIMHANS. So there is this institute in Bangalore itself, which is the National Institute who take care of the various issues related with the mental health. And this institution carried out a national mental health survey in 2016. So this is not a latest survey which has been conducted. It was conducted over 4 years back in 2016. But what it was found that time is that there is a prevalence of mental disorders in adults over the age of 18 years is more than 10%. So more than 10% of the population who we considered as the adults above the age of 18 are suffering from various kind of mental disorders. So just understand, this is not a small population. So that is how the this survey has highlighted the problem that mental disorder also require due consideration. So latestly what has happened, the district mental health program component of the National Mental Health Program has been sanctioned for implementation in almost 700 districts, for which support is provided to states and UTs through the National Health Mission. So under the National Health Mission, there is a component of National Mental Health Program. And in that, recently the district mental health program is the one which has got sanctioned. You should understand that district is the one should be focused on because it is the one which could reach out to the people. So the bottom-up approach is something which need to be followed in the cases of taking care of the people suffering from various kind of mental disorder. So this is again something which has been highlighted, and that is why this was in news. Now in this context, let's just quickly understand the Mental Health Care Act of 2017. So it states that mental illness be determined in accordance with nationally and internationally accepted medical standards as may be notified by the central government. So what could be considered as mental illness need to be defined internationally and nationally standard. So there has to be some standard accordingly the mental illness need to be defined, and the central government is the one who will give the notification regarding it. This act superseded the previously existing Mental Health of 1987. So basically this is not the first time the Mental Health Care Act was enacted in India, but way back in 1987 also the Mental Health Act was in place. The act effectively decriminalized attempted suicide, which was punishable under section 309 of the Indian Penal Code. So this is considered as a very progressive step under the 2017 Act, which in essence decriminalized the attempted suicide, because it was realized that putting the people who have already tried to commit suicide into the jurisdiction or into the custody would have more disastrous effect on their mental health. So they should be given proper care, institutional care, instead of pushing under the criminal justice system. So that is why it was decriminalized, and attempted suicide under this act is no more a criminal offense. Additionally, the act asserts that no person or authority shall classify an individual as a person with mental illness unless directly in relationship with treatment of the illness. So again, this is something which is kind of a social stigma associated with it. We consider like if there are like it is used as a slang when you try to associate mental illness with the people being incompetent. So in that regard, this act specifically mentioned that no one apart from the people who are associated with the treatment can declare a person as a mentally ill person. This act envisioned establishment of Central Mental Health Authority as well as the State Mental Health Authority. So these two authorities are also set up under the act, which means these are now statutory body. The act also outlines the procedure and process for admission, treatment and subsequent discharge of mentally ill person. So how the person should be treated, like for an example, there was lot of controversy earlier days. Electric shock were used as a treatment method for the mentally ill person, and it has raised a lot of alarms along the various human rights activists and in general. So this is why what kind of treatment a person want, or what kind of treatment could be given, how the person would be admitted, discharged, all the detailed process is mentioned in the Act. This Act further seeks to protect such person from inhumane treatment, to gain access to free legal services and their medical record, and have the right to complain in the event of this deficiency in the provision. So again, this is something like if they are in a mental health institution and they are not provided with the adequate provisions, they can also seek out the free legal advice. So these are the things, these are the important components and features of the Mental Health Care Act of 2017. This is important from your JS perspective, as well as at times in prelims also they do ask, like for an example, they did ask about the Pregnancy Act way back in 2019 paper. So you can understand these kind of little bit features could be asked in the examination. Now let's move forward and quickly see about the initiative which was started by the Ministry of HRD at that time. Now it is Ministry of Education. So this Mano Darpan was the initiative which was started by Ministry of Education, because you know the COVID-19 situation created a lot of mental distress also. So this is a platform which includes a national toll-free helpline for students of school, universities and colleges, which will be manned by a pool of experienced counselors, psychologists and the mental health professionals. So it's kind of a toll-free helpline which the students could take help of. They could reach out to counselors, psychologists and the health professional, mental health professional, to discuss about the various things which are causing them distress. It also has a website, a national database of counselors, which will host an interactive online chat platform, advisories and tips through webinars and other resources. So basically the health professional, the counselors, the psychologists will also have like a webinar also to discuss what kind of tips the people can use to keep themselves calm when they are having anxiety, what all could be done to prevent the anxiety attack at that time. All these things are also mentioned and in the webinar. So such kind of webinars were also conducted under the Mano Darpan. It would act as an element of strengthening human capital and increasing productivity for the education sector in the wake of COVID-19. So in 2020, COVID-19, even today, it is quite rampant and it has pushed a lot of people to stay indoor, which create a lot of stress and is not very good for the mental health, and that is why such kind of initiatives were needed specifically for the students as well as the teachers. So these are certain things that you should know. I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.